Hi friends, welcome to the session, and in this particular video we are going to see about the concept of the interfaces and how we can make use of the interfaces and as well as the methods which are declared in the interfaces and as well as the variables in the interfaces. Okay, so let me talk about the interfaces and then we'll see the implementation details. Now, if you are referencing this particular interface, an interface is a special case of the abstract class. What do you mean by abstract class, friends? A class which contains at least one abstract method is known as the abstract class. But whereas in case of the interface, these particular, if the interface contains all the abstract methods, then we can say that as the interface. And by the way, what do you mean by abstract method, friends? Abstract method is nothing but the method which is not having any definition, only it is having the declaration. The method without any implementation is known as the abstract method. And if at least one abstract method is in there is in a class, that is the abstract class. And if all the methods in a particular construct is having all the abstract method, then we can say that as the interface. So interface contains all the methods as the abstract, and an interface specify what a class must do but not how to do, because as mentioned earlier, interface hardly give the method declaration but not the method implementation. And once it is defined, any number of classes can implement an interface. Suppose one interface is there with five methods and as well as three variables, and it is not restricted to only one class. Number of classes can be used for that particular implementation of the interface. Also, one class can implement any number of interfaces. Suppose I'm having some 10 interfaces and I want to get the content of those particular interfaces within into the class. I can do that. So any number of classes can implement a particular interface. One interface can be used by multiple classes. At the same time, the number of interfaces can be implemented by a single class also. And how to define an interface? An interface is defined much like a class. How we can declare a class, like the variables and as well as the methods, like that. But only the differentiation is, while declaring the variables, implicitly final and as well as the static, meaning that they cannot be changed by the implementing class. Suppose if you want to maintain the interface, just you need to observe this particular point, friends. Interface provides the method declarations, and you cannot change the declaration, but you can add, you can define your own method. Whatever the template we are having, using that particular template, you can make use of the implementations. You can uh, you can add some points to the corresponding definition without changing the declaration. So in case of the variables also, we already seen what exactly the final and what do you mean by static. So static, once if you declare a variable, the latest value can be updated and latest value can be observed. But in this particular case, the constants can be observed as a final and as well as the static kind of the implementations with the help of the interfaces. And they must be initialized with a constant value. All the methods and variables are implicitly public in the interface itself, is declared as public. So if you are declared an interface as public, then you can observe all the methods and all the variables as public. And one more important thing is there, friends. If you are referencing the interface, generally interfaces declared as public only. You might have observed the what is the reason behind that. Reason behind that is, once if any method or if any variable I want to make use by any other class, it should be declared as public only. So because I am allowing my declaration, and I am allowing number of classes to add the definition, so it is always better to have the interfaces as public. Now let me give you example how to implement that, so that you will be having the clear definite clear understanding of these particular things. Now basically I am declaring one interface, friends, here. So just see how I declared the interface. So just as that of normal class only, I declared the interface. Just you see this public Rather than using class, I used the interface, public interface, interface one. Just I named that particular thing as interface one. And as per the definition of that particular interface, just what we are doing is, here we have taken this particular variables, int x equal to 100, string qualification equal to phd, and these particular values I mentioned as a static, public static int x, and as well as public static string qualification equal to phd. Okay. And if you are referencing the methods, just I declared some method one and as well as the method two, just to observe and follow the definition of the interface can be declared with the keyword interface, and you can declare the variables either static and as well as the final. We did that. And if you are referencing these methods, won't have any, because these are all the abstract methods. Abstract method is not having any definition, it is only having the declaration. And now the same kind of the interface I am making use another class. So just I am having class implementation with me. Now you see here friends, public class, this is my class name, class implementation, and I am using the keyword implements. Now there is a difference between inheritance and as well as the interface usage friends, because in the inheritance concept, whatever the class I am having as a base class, I just used the keyword extends. But whereas at this moment of time, I am making use of the term implements, and I am making use of the this interface one. Actually interface one already we have declared. Interface and what exactly contains x value and as well as the qualification in the static notation, and I am having the two different methods. And now with respect to this class implementation, I am making use of that one, just method one. So just I am extended something, I add I am in method one interface one, and in method two just I add some kind of the statement. Okay. And in the main function publish static void main, so just I have created object for this class, whatever the current class I am having, and I am calling the method one and method two as usual, access of the methods. But and one more important aspect is, directly with the object I can access the details, because from this particular interface, whatever the values I'm having in the interface, so just you observe here friends, whatever the values I'm having, x value and as well as the qualification. Now I want to make use of those particular values in my current class. So just I outputted those things like o2 dot o2 here is a object, and o2 dot x and as well as o2 dot qualification. So at the moment I run this particular code, what exactly I'm getting friends? So just you see here, I am in method one in interface one, but implemented in this class. Similarly, I am method two in interface one, but implemented in this class two. And similarly, the x value in this particular interface is 100 and qualification is PhD. So x value is 100 and qualification is PhD. So just if you are referencing this implementation, you can get the same values, 100 and PhD. Okay. So likewise, some other aspects are also there, how we can make use of the interfaces in achieving the advancement of the inheritance. So and usage of the packages and as well as the interfaces together. So just in the next video we are going to see those particular aspects. Thank